Now let's turn attention now to the nation's capital, where the National Economic Council has resolved to consider negotiating a new minimum wage for workers. The Economic Council also agreed on interventions to be introduced to cushion the impact of fuel subsidy removal. With this new development, state governments will play a significant role to ensure the poor and vulnerable in the society benefit from the palliative measures. And TVC News State House correspondent Femi Akonde reports.
Finally, there is a plan on how the federal government intends to cushion the immediate hardship caused by the removal of subsidy on petroleum products. But this time, the subnationals are expected to step up to the plate and drive the interventions that will give succor to the poor and vulnerable. At the end of the 6-hour-long National Economic Council meeting, the governors reeled out the immediate, medium and long-term intervention plans.
Each state should begin to plan towards implementing a cash transfer program that will be based on their social register of the states. We also talked about ensuring that we paid our public servants outstanding liabilities, whichever way, if it's their pension, if it's their gratuities, if it's their leave bonuses, and so on and so forth.
There is a magnitude to which you pump in money into the system, and then inflation even gets higher. Exchange rate depreciates the more, and the more the exchange rate depreciates, the more there will be pressure for pump price of fuel to also rise. So, Council is fully aware of all this. We're juggling many balls in the air.
The federal government is also responding to all threats to food security and the need to push down rising food prices. At the National Economic Council, they directed the release of foodstuff from the National Grain Reserve to poor households already groaning from the spike in food prices.
NEMA, with the CBN, and indeed with the Ministry of Agric. And we have some buffer stock that is already there with NEMA, and the Council has directed the states will be allocated immediately substantial portion of food items, grains, and so on and so forth for distribution so that the prices of foodstuff will come down.
But on the brighter side, the National Economic Council was pleased with the news of an increase in revenue generated by the Federal Inland Revenue Service.
It was nice to know that they are ahead of their target for half year, and we expect that before or by the time the year ends, they would exceed. He also gave us some idea of what next year should be like.
Now the 3 tiers of government will share the burden to cushion the impact of fuel subsidy removal. They must also work in time and establish a social register that is truly reflective of the poor and vulnerable. Femi Akonde, TVC News, Abuja.